welcome to the Honest Wrestling Review Network, home of the Triple Crown Wrestling Review and the HWR Triple Crown Retrospective. On the Wrestling Review show, the Triple Crown will cover the latest show content for the week, latest news, and rumors in the wrestling industry. During the retrospective show, we will be recapping and recovering significant events in wrestling history. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show, and thank you very much for listening. Hello and welcome to the Triple Crown Wrestling Review. I am Steve Rubling. To the top left is Mr. Chris Nobles.
Hey, hey.
And directly below us is Mr. Larry Keeler.
Oh, ho.
And for those that are kind of wondering what in the world we're talking about, this is the debut episode for the video cast for the YouTube channel. So we're going to have to adjust some things. And this is more for the YouTube people, even though it does say my name, your name, and Larry's iPhone.
Yeah, well.
Larry's iPhone.
Damn right. So before we get into this week, I wanted to start with a new segment I think you guys might enjoy. I'm just going to call this Reactions. I'm going to say either the name of a gimmick, the name of a wrestler, and I want your reaction, then I'll give you a brief synopsis of who he was. Okay? This comes from us from 1994 to 1995 in the WWF. The Mantar.
Oh, God.
Oh, it was awful.
For those of you that don't know, the Mantar was a character of a Minotaur who charged, trampled, and mooed in opponents and was managed by Jim Cornette.
Wait a minute. No. The poor guy couldn't even get into the freaking ring, okay?
That's very true. He had a helmet similar to Big Van Vader's huge helmet thing that was a Minotaur. He actually had a quick series of matches with Razor Ramon where he was going for the IC title but never won. He had an appearance in the Royal Rumble. He was eliminated by Lex Luger. He was defeated by Bret the Hitman Hart in a taping of Wrestling Challenge at one point. His last appearance was in a lumberjack match between Sid and Diesel in Your House 2. That was the last time he was ever seen on WWE TV.
And Vince was wondering why his freaking drawings were down during that time.
Right.
You can't draw a gate because you got guys like Mantar and Bastion Booger.
That was almost the choice for this week. I almost picked Bastion Booger.
Oh, that guy was awful too.
Hey,
oh my
we're on the
God.
same page. I like
it. So that's our little blast from the past. I thought you'd enjoy it. Just because if you haven't seen it before, go look up Mantar. It's hideous.
Who was he before that? Wasn't he popular?
I don't recall.
I don't think so. He was a big fat bald guy. For all we
I
know, he
remember
could have
what
been
he
Bastion
looked
Booger.
like. And I also remember they said that his headwear gave him neck problems because it was so damn heavy.
Right.
Well, yeah, it was like 30 or 40 pounds just sitting on his head.
It was like an actual taxidermy buffalo.
Yeah.
It was a bullhead. Yeah, it was huge. Like I saw a picture of this thing. I was like, that's like 4 feet on top of his height.
Mm-hmm.
It was just ridiculous looking.
Oh, and just to let everybody know, we have officially made the big time. We have a show sponsor.
Woohoo!
Our show sponsor is KK's Creations. They do custom vinyl work for T-shirts, decorations, home decor. And for those of you on the YouTube, I'm rocking this brand new shirt, the Great Le Orange Debate, in honor of Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho's debate for this coming week's AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, Super Wednesday. Super Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. We will have our own merchandise on KK's Creations page. If you would like to purchase our merchandise, you can go to KK Creations on Facebook and put an order through there. Or if you just want custom T-shirts, it's a great outlet. It's quick shipping. Usually it's in and out within a couple of days, and it's on its way to your house.
Yeah, well, each of us will have different Sane shirts. Like, we've got one for me that says Impact Matters.
Kinda.
We've got one for our buddy Chris over here, who he loves EO.
I love you. Or D-Lo.
There might be some editing on that.
Okay,
one.
I was going to say, the shirt will get a change from the mock-up, okay?
Yeah, the font will change to make sure it doesn't make you think it's D-Lo. And then, Steve has his.
I was going to say, and then I'm going to get, like I told you earlier, Chris, I'm going to get you the payoff to the Revolution bet. I'm going to get you a hashtag pie hat.
And then we also have a shirt coming out for the Rona counter.
Yes! One, by the way.
Does that really count at that point?
Hey, we brought up the Rona. That's two.
Okay. Yeah. And with that, let's just hop right into the week. Obviously, starting with Raw. First and foremost, this has been a long week of wrestling. There was no pay-per-views, nothing huge happening, and there were moments where it dragged across the entire stuff. But we start on Raw with an in-ring segment of Randy Orton addressing the universe, where he challenges Drew McIntyre for the title at SummerSlam. How many of us didn't see this coming?
The blind mute on the corner.
Pretty much. As he's leaving, we're getting the next in-ring segment of Nia Jax passing him, which I really don't like that they're doing that.
I don't like whenever they do that. That's so dumb.
It's like, so either they ran over or you're early. What the hell's going on? It seems like they're trying to put too much into the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not feeling these like hot handoffs for segments at all.
It just feels uncoordinated.
Very much.
And then you get the segment of Nia and Shayna Baszler, which in theory it should have worked because these are two brawlers that could have just torn the house down. But it appears, at least from the early indications, they flat ass have like zero chemistry.
They have no chemistry. And yeah, it really doesn't. So she comes out, she complains about being skipped for the title shot and how people are getting launched over her. She gets interrupted with Shayna Baszler, which starts a brawl, as we know, which sets up their match later in the night. It was kind of stupid, honestly. I see where they're going with it, and they're going to probably end up with the two of them in a cage match.
Well, seeing how because we're not going to bring this up later on. Let's just go right to the match to get it over with. It was like a 2.5 minute double count. I
don't even think it was that. I think it was like enter the ring, start brawling, roll out of the ring, count out. It was. That's what I'm saying. It's going to have to end up in a cage match because Baszler's going to want her not to be able to get away, and they're going to want to be able to fight no DQ. I see them putting it in a cage or a Hell in a Cell or something.
Oh, and Nia, just FYI, so you got leapfrogged for title shots because you missed an entire year with double knee surgery there, sweetheart.
You also got leapfrogged because you're dangerous in the ring and you broke someone's nose on live TV.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, skyrocketed that person's career.
If you're in that, I mean, if we're putting people in that segment, she's in good company because Seth Rollins destroyed John Cena's nose on live TV,
and Finn Balor's neck, and Sting's career, and I mean, are we going to bring up Becky Lynch in the round of? I was trying not to,
because it did slow down her career.
Yeah, just a little bit.
By a factor of about a year, 18 months.
I was going to say at least 9 months.
Oh no, she's got to have a couple months to recover after that, especially after she has a burn it down baby.
It's Becky Lynch. She's the man. All right, so that takes us into our first match because we jumped it to talk about Nia Jax and Shayna, but
so we don't have to talk about it later.
Yeah, our first match was Street Profits coming out on commentary, talking about and introducing the three teams in I don't know if it was a triple threat, three-way dance, whatever they want to call it. It's the Viking Raiders, Cedric and Ricochet, and Garza Andrade. Winners receive number one contenders match. Wasn't that bad of a match. I sat here watching it. My wife was complaining about the Street Profits on mic the whole time.
Yes.
So as much as I hate hearing the Iconics voices, she hates hearing the Street Profits voices.
I don't blame her.
So that
tired of the cups too.
You don't like the Viking Profits?
Yeah. I'm tired of stirring it. I'm just tired of it all.
So the winners of that match and the new number one contenders are Garza and Andrade at SummerSlam.
Which could be a very good match.
I mean,
Yeah.
But do we really have any question of how this match is going to go, though?
I think they'll probably put the titles on Garza and Andrade.
Me too.
Okay,
I really think that's where it's going to go.
I'm in the minority because I don't think the profits are dropping to those two yahoos.
I think they're seeing that the Profits have had him for too long.
Yep.
They need to get him off him because I don't know whether it's travel restrictions they've had or if Rona issues are happening. 3-3. But the Street Profits have been too inconsistent on television. They haven't been able to be for every showing, so they haven't had the tag titles on TV. So put it on someone who's been consistent. What team's been consistently there every week since we hit pandemic wrestling?
Good point.
Okay.
Angel.
But my thing is who has consistently gotten their ass whooped every week?
Well, that's the point. You put an unlikely team that's going to overcome the situation because they're going to cheat to win.
Okay, so you're good with another Jinder Mahal then?
No, I'm not. But I know how they're thinking.
Oh, I miss Jinder.
You're about like maybe one of
Larry's face.
The hell is wrong with you?
Okay, so I didn't like his main title run, but the more and more.
Oh no! I know when you liked him. You liked him in
him.
3MB. You like 3MB. That's what.
Yeah.
No, I can stand 3MB. No, I can stand 3MB. It's wild. He started really growing on me after he lost the title.
See, the only time I liked him is when I had to put up with him to watch the fucking Bollywood boys get their asses whooped.
It was enjoyable to watch them just get destroyed.
Especially when Randy dropped the one on the table and he's like, I really messed him up.
That was to the point where I was so close to being done with watching because I'm just I couldn't stand him. And it has nothing to do with his heritage. I just didn't like his ring work. I didn't like him on the mic.
You didn't like the fact he's Canadian?
No, not at all. See, and the thing is, it's.
He's like, I'm from India. I'm like, you're from Calgary.
The whole thing is, I don't think he was ready for championship. I understand they had to do something because they were trying to pander to a certain audience because they got a new TV deal. I get that whole situation.
Exactly what it was.
But at the same time, he wasn't right for the situation. He had good chemistry with Randy Orton. I don't deny that. I was bored to death with him. I didn't enjoy it at all.
During that whole run, yes, I was in the same boat with you, and I was like, how is Randy losing to the schmuck that was in 3MB? Like, right. I get where you're coming from on that.
That Chris loved immensely.
No, it was after the fact that he lost the title and he was playing heel with the Bollywood boys. That's when I started enjoying him. I didn't mind his meditation thing either. If you guys remember that small meditation gimmick he was doing.
Y'all bash on 3MB, but y'all realize that Heath Slater is the only member of 3MB that was not a world champion.
Yes, I realize that. And I mentioned that, I think, last week.
Hey, but that could change.
Yeah.
With that fake championship.
he might be the TNA champion soon.
Well, that's if we can even get in the door before the show ends.
Yeah.
We'll get into that because, Impact matters.
Kinda.
So next we go backstage and we have Seth Rollins with Murphy. Seth asking him if he's with him, kind of in his face. Okay. Goes to an in-ring segment where Seth Rollins and Murphy are calling out Dominic, promising they're not going to hurt him, continuing the storyline. Aleister Black comes out. They ends up in a brawl. Seth Rollins getting in Murphy's face, telling him, oh, you have to do it, put him out, hurt him like I hurt Ray. So they end up pushing Aleister Black's eye into the corner of the step, just like they did with Ray, and putting Aleister Black on the shelf. It looks like, unfortunately, since Aleister Black was championed by Paul Heyman, he's being written off TV for an undisclosed time. However, if you follow Aleister Black's Instagram or any of his social media, he's posted some interesting things, and it looks like it's going to be a repackaging for him. It doesn't look like they're just giving up on him. It looks like he's just being repackaged as something else. I guess Vince probably doesn't really care for the character.
For this entire segment, can I get Flaming Dog Poo and the Human Response for $500, Alex?
And the Daily Gobble!
If they rebrand him, I really don't know what they're going to do with him. I could see them doing something, and you guys are not going to like this, and I don't like it either. Something like a right to censor type of thing.
Oh God, no.
Oh God.
Yeah, but I could see them suiting him up and doing.
Well, that's the only way you can.
But see,
that's the only way you can rebrand him.
When he was doing Pick a Fight with me, he was suited and booted. He can pull that off too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking they would almost need to bring him back out as more of a mystical character, something akin of The Undertaker.
But if you remember when after him and Ricochet broke up when they first got called up, they were kind of giving him that preaching type of role. You know how I hated it, Steve, but the knock on my door thing.
Yeah.
But that was very preachy is how he was doing that role. And he was very tweener of, you didn't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy. I could see them doing that again.
I see them doing that again because he needs to finally get a stronghold, and they need to put some kind of singles title on him, whether it be Intercontinental, US, whatever.
Yeah. I was going to say, he would be a great U.S. champion because MVP stinks. And Apollo Crews has the Rona. 5.
Come on, Chris. You missed it.
5 times.
Hey, man, I had a near Rona experience, so
6.
I was referencing the 4.
Little teaser. No, it's not the 4 Horsemen. It's Larry and I talked this over. We've made a decision. AEW, pay attention. They are not the 4 Horsemen. They are the New Horsemen.
The New Horsemen, and you could still use this because you can't copyright a hand signal, except maybe this.
I was gonna say, didn't the Bucks get a cease and desist on this?
They did. All right, so this takes us to another in-ring segment. There's a lot of in-ring segments. Holy crap! The next in-ring segment was VIP Lounge with Mustafa Ali and the rest of the Hurt Business. This was just trash TV. Not even Jerry Springer trash TV. This was trash TV.
Hold on. And this will be, You
got to be prepared with this voice thing, Steve.
Yeah, shush.
He had been too. That's a sad thing. Before you got out, he was playing with it. And it was...
No. I think someone flushed the toilet.
Yep.
Okay.
That's that segment going down the tube. Going down.
Larry could have did that last week in his bathroom.
Wow, dude. Wow. Just air the laundry out there, man. Oh, good God. So
and for those that are not watching this on YouTube, Larry is not in his bathroom this week.
And he wasn't last week. He was in his kitchen, but it had an echo like a bathroom, so I thought he was on the toilet the whole time.
Delicious adult beverage. All right, so that brings us to match 3, I'm sorry. Mustafa Ali versus Bobby Lashley. Why? Have him go against Shelton Benjamin, honestly. Because you're going to put him in this
Makes
thing
more sense.
With Bobby Lashley, they're building as a monster. You're trying to build some heat behind Mustafa Ali to lift him and elevate him. Why are you going to have him destroyed by Lashley in a submission?
Yeah, so they were trying to do like a hype comeback last week on Ali, and then I guess they just nixed it and said, "Nope, we're just going to have him job to Bobby Lashley."
It could also be because the after Raw segment they do, the thing on YouTube.
Yeah,
he was kind of going off on the whole BLM stuff.
Oh, really?
So it could be something to do with that, honestly.
Like you need to watch your tongue.
Probably. It could be like, hey, stop it.
And that's the other thing. That seems like it's been the WWE's MO for like the last 5-6 years is book somebody up with a really strong return and then kill all the momentum the immediate week following.
Yeah, they do that a lot. And I don't know if it's because they're testing the waters to see how people are going to react to him losing and whatnot, but it's like, really? You could have just.
Well, how can you do that with nobody in the freaking audience?
They're watching their social media.
They are.
The Twitter and the Instagram.
Maybe WWE should just start doing what they're doing at Dodger Stadium: is put cardboard cutouts of fans, charge like because Dodger Stadium charges $300 a cardboard cutout.
Yep.
And they fill the stands with it. It's like they should just start doing that. That way, at least they get ticket sales back. Not that they need it. We'll cover that later.
I mean, look at what me and Chris have to put up with here in St. Louis. They just no creativity, no originality at all. It's just emptiness.
Yep.
Yeah, Boston has the same problem.
Which that's
no.
bizarre,
They had cardboard cutouts in the Green Monster because Pete Alonso damn near hit one of them.
Okay.
Just the Green Monster, though.
I feel like all the big markets are putting the cardboard cutouts.
I would hope so. I mean, it would make sense. I mean,
it does. Yeah.
But anyways, back to Raw.
Hey, I haven't done so bad this episode yet. So
no, you haven't. So obviously that match
still early.
Your winner was Bobby Lashley. Who didn't see that coming?
No one.
So now we go to another backstage segment. Ziggler says he doesn't know what the stipulation's going to be. Drew will choose for their match tonight, and he vows to defeat Drew. I'm like, right, you're going to defeat Drew because you could do that when you had the odds in your favor because that worked out. No.
At least they moved it to this week because last week I was worried about that.
Yeah, at least it's not a pay-per-view thing.
Mm-hmm.
Match 4 is your Raw Women's Championship match. Asuka with Kairi Sane and Sasha Banks with Bayley. I actually enjoyed this.
Whoa.
As much as I don't like Sasha and Bayley's whole meteoric rise they have right now, I enjoyed this match and how they did it. I think it was done well, and it continues the storyline without it feeling like it's just stupid.
Satan, did you turn your air conditioner on?
No, he didn't. It's hot as balls here.
So you did like the count out?
Yes, I did, because it didn't put Sasha over Asuka by having her like lose clean or get screwed over. She did it for a different reason, which she still has some momentum behind her. So the rubber match should be pretty interesting.
But they could have did a double count out and then led it to a cage match like you guys were mentioning last week.
No, we were mentioning that earlier, like 10 minutes ago with Nia and Shayna Baszler.
No. Last week we talked about.
Last week we did mention.
We talked about a cage match with them because of all the shenanigans that these.
Well, see, the part of the reason they had to do this is they were writing Kairi Sane off.
Yeah, she's going home to Japan.
Because after Raw, you get tweets and everything of her saying thank you WWE and all this stuff and all these pictures. So they were literally just writing her off TV.
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't do that otherwise.
And then Asuka kind of throws it off on Twitter going, Kyrie, where are you?
And so, I mean, the match, I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. There wasn't too many stupid shenanigans. You didn't get the green mist and the referee confusion. You actually had... Okay, so there was shenanigans backstage which distracted your opponent and caused her to leave. Okay, so she gave up to go help her friend. That shows that obviously builds her as the face and Sasha and Bayley as the heels.
Yeah, it's just they shouldn't have booked it with like the count out, like any way matters type of thing. The whole Stephanie thing. Well, I think they still should have did the same thing, like you're saying, of the whole let's jump Kyrie, let's take her out. And then now Asuka's against all odds. But she's still champion.
But the thing is also the Kyrie and Bayley were both sent backstage. They weren't allowed at ringside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why the brawl happened backstage. That's why Asuka had to leave. But your winner and new women's champion on Raw is Sasha Banks.
With everything, with all the shenanigans talk, the Super Troopers decided they wanted to show up.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun. Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic. Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the
full
walls?
clip.
Umbrella sticks? You mean shenanigans? No. You're talking about shenanigans, right? Put those...
Okay, Steve.
I think your
I'm just
soundboard
gonna-
privileges are gone, dude.
Yeah, so if you have a soundboard, we need it to be 2 seconds maximum.
No!
Like little clips. We don't need a
the
5-minute
shenanigans.
segment.
Come on.
What the hell is that? Off the rails again.
If I had known you were going to do that, I would have pulled out one of my airsoft guns, so I at least could have held a pistol up during it.
Next person says shenanigans, I swear I'm going to pistol whip them.
Oh man! So we've already talked about the backstage segment. Asuka leaves trainer's room very angry, getting more of that aggressive Asuka we like. So hopefully it turns into something entertaining.
Yes,
Match
for the
5.
love of God, WWE, please watch New Japan Asuka. That's the Asuka we want.
Pretty much.
I'm also shocked they didn't make that the main event.
Yeah. Match 5, you have Murphy versus Humberto Carrillo. Winner was Murphy, so they're putting Murphy on a rise again. Match 6 in your main event, the WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Drew states an Extreme Rules match like last time, but he can be extreme too. So it's an Extreme Rules match.
Womp womp.
And to
Your
the
winner-
surprise of absolutely no one, Dolph Ziggler gets his ass whooped.
Yeah, winner and still Drew McIntyre. Then RKO out of nowhere.
Shocking.
And end of the night, you have Randy Orton standing tall with the title. Overall feel of Raw?
I'd give it about a. It was woefully mediocre. I'll give it about a 2.5 out of 5.
I'll give it a 2.
I guess a 2. You had a title change, and you also had what we wanted with Randy and Drew.
Yeah. So a little bit of news about WWE. So remember we were talking about last week, they're talking about doing the Nation of Domination stable.
Yeah.
Reportedly, even though obviously it's probably a bad idea to do it right now with the political climate, but apparently MVP had absolutely no interest in being involved in it.
Then
So
you
it
do
ca-
it without MVP.
No.
Okay, Lashley
MVP's
needs a
he's
mouthpiece. He is not
he's
good
the
on the mic.
voice.
Do you remember
Yeah.
him in TNA? He was horrible on the mic.
He's so
Shelton
bad on the mic.
Benjamin was not good on the mic. He needed Kurt Angle.
Don't care.
You're gonna put okay, get rid of MVP. Huh? Let's put our truth with him. He's good on the mic. It
Farouk
won't make
was
any
older.
goddamn sense.
Farouk was older when he was the mic for Nation of Domination too.
Exactly.
So it works. I like it.
Give Truth something to do, for the love of God.
What? You shut your mouth. Don't you mention that man again.
No, it's. You're right. In this climate, in today's day and age, it's probably not the best idea to do it. But you know what's going to get eyes on the product? Doing it.
Yeah, just like DX did, just like NWO got more eyes on it. The problem is, look at what happened when they did Sergeant Slaughter Turning on America years ago. That really hurt them to a bit. That was one of the worst drawing WrestleManias in history.
Did they get a viewership?
It got a lot of
spike out of
viewers,
it?
though.
It got a lot of viewers, but they lost a lot of money on WrestleMania. They lost a lot of money on a lot of stuff because a lot of advertisers pulled out of the situation. That's why they had to go from having it in the Coliseum to having it in the arena, because I supposedly I've been told I was there, but I don't remember going to it. I was fairly young, but it doesn't make sense.
Controversy creates cash.
Thank you,
Bischoff. So, anyways, into our next segment, WWE released their second quarter report. They're reporting a 14% growth in the second quarter, which
Making
with
money in them Morona days.
with 7 with pandemic wrestling, they're reporting, and obviously this is going to happen. In April, they let go of how many wrestlers, so that's less money to spend. They're not traveling as far as all the trucks moving everything around. They're not paying rent on arenas. Their costs have come way the hell down. But then again, you're like, okay, well, how are they making as much money? So, well, that's simple. They're not putting out as much. However, their WWE shop is reporting a 22% increase.
And there was
Well,
also,
obviously, because you can't buy at the arenas anymore.
and there was
So
also an
everyone's
increase in not network subscriptions, but network revenue.
Viewership, yeah, and revenue for sure. So their second quarter looks good. So they're not hurting, obviously.
And plus, when they were doing everything taped and not live, you were cutting down on cost of paying guys because you didn't have to bring guys in every freaking week. You could have them there for one day, shoot 2 or 3 shows in that one day, and then
You
they're
mean
gone
like
for a
they
month.
do back in WCW in the 80s? It's like, here, come once a month. We'll shoot 4 weeks worth of wrestling, and then you can go home. And then they cut it, syndicate it, and send it out. That's how they used to do it.
Yep.
That's how Superstars, Primetime, that's how all that stuff was done.
And that saves them money that way.
Right. And hell, that's how they do AEW Dark. And good segue. Let's cover AEW Dark next.
All right, here we go.
I want 100%.
Here we go. We're doing, if you guys haven't seen it before, this will be the first time I get to see your faces during this, so this will be entertaining. So our traditional thing is we're going to cover each match. They're going to guess their winners, and I'll give you the results at the end. On commentary, we had Excalibur and Taz. So match 1 was the Initiative, which is the name they created a stable of Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon now, versus FTR.
FTR.
Match 2, Michael Nakazawa and Pineapple Heat versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela.
Sonny and Joey.
Yep, I agree.
Abaddon versus Skylar Moore in match 3.
Abaddon.
Who?
Match.
Who are both of these guys?
These are women.
Oh, okay. See, I don't even... That's how bad I am on it.
Abaddon is kind of like...
Abaddon's kind of like... she's called the Living Dead Girl. Think of Rob Zombie's Wet Dream, essentially.
Yeah,
Oh.
that mixed with like Rosemary.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll go with Steve's pick on Abaddon.
Well, she's also been on Dark and Dynamite a few times. So
Yep.
I don't think I ever remember her.
Like she like really creepy slow crawls to the ring. For
yeah,
her
she does like that
entrance
whole
and-
ring crawl out, like from the movie The Ring, like crawling out. That's her whole thing. So
She's
and she
like
changed-
Dexter Loomis with the whole crawl thing. No, okay.
you just go look on Dark.
She got enough time. Okay, moving on.
Match 4 is Dark Order, which is Evil Uno and Stu Grayson versus Sean Dean and Will Hobbs.
Yep, Dark Order.
Dark Order.
Match 5, Scorpio Sky versus Corey Hollis.
Scorpio, even though Corey
Unfortunately.
deserves a win.
Yeah, that's Scorpio.
Hey, we've seen Corey Hollis perform live. The dude deserves a win on TV.
You mean YouTube?
Yeah.
YouTube is TV.
True. We'll get into that later, too. Match 6, Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian versus Kenzie Page.
Penelope Ford.
Yep.
Match 7, Wardlow versus Aaron Swarlow or Supertico.
It doesn't matter. Wardlow. It's going to destroy
You said Wardlow. Yeah.
Match 8, Best Friends versus Dark Order number 3 and 4.
Best
Alex
friends.
Reynolds and John Silver. However, do you realize what their other name is? What they were known by previous to Dark Order number 3 and 4? They were the Beaver Boys.
No idea. Anyways, best friends.
Okay. Match 9. I don't even know why I'm going to say the second name, but I will. Lance Archer versus
Lance
Frankie
Archer.
Thomas.
Lance Archer.
Okay.
Unless it's like a 10-on-1 handicap match, I'm probably even still then going Lance Archer.
Why does that guy? And I did see this person on Dark. I'm like, why does he call himself Frankie Thomas? Like,
That's probably just his name.
okay.
Match 10, Orange Cassidy versus Serpentico. So he's playing
Double duty.
2 times. Double duty.
Cassidy.
The Orange Man.
Right. Match 11, Sammy Guevara versus Fuego del Sol.
11?
Yeah, there's 12 matches on Dark.
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy, yeah.
Okay, then you have match 12, SCU of Daniels and Kazarian versus Santana Ortiz versus Private Party.
Santana and Ortiz.
Santana and Ortiz. They're going good with Inner Circle right now.
And 100%, you guys are right.
That last match was hard to
3
call.
weeks.
I was going to say, that was the toss-up.
Yeah.
That last match was like, I'm like, okay, this one you can't just guess because all 3 teams have had pushes. They've done decent stuff. But yeah, I still find it funny that Serpentico's pulling double duty as often
on the same show.
Yeah. So do what you have to do, right? So this takes us into Impact because Impact matters.
Kind of.
So I'll have to be honest. I'm the one that really watches Impact, and this one was tough. This was rough to get through. Opening into a match, like, welcome to Impact, and your champion's walking out for a match. So they're doing this whole thing with your world champion doing an open challenge. So
that isn't really open because he said EC3 can't do it.
No, that's TNA title. That's a different. This is the Impact World title.
Oops.
So
it's Impact. I should just really keep my mouth shut.
So we've got Cody doing an open challenge on AEW with a mid-card title. You had an open challenge that Cena used to do with a mid-card title, but Impact says, let's do it for the heavyweight. That sounds like a good idea. I'm like, so obviously you have Eddie Edwards, your champion, versus Trey, winner, and still Eddie Edwards. After the match, Eric Young comes out, and a brawl breaks out.
That's cool.
Kind of stupid.
Well, I mean, I think it's cool that Eric Young and Eddie Edwards are going to go at it.
Yeah. So now we get a video package. If you remember me talking about last week, they had this thing come up about Wrestle House.
Oh, the Rona House?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, because people don't realize, but yeah, I think we're at 8. It's 8, bro.
8. That is 8. 5,
it didn't look
3.
Like, oh, shit, I was doing 9. Fuck.
Yeah, you were.
It's a damn California education. They don't even teach y'all how to count.
Oh, man. But you said it's supposed to be like Legends House, right?
Imagine Legend House mixed with real world type thing. So what it is they're all in a house. There's 10 of them, not counting the host, which turns out to be Tommy Dreamer. So there's 11 people in this house.
He handle that? You don't have enough fingers. Oh, there's the 11th right there.
Anyhow, so he shows up, tells them there are 10 of you in 6 beds. Go find beds. So they all run around the house.
This is Big Brother.
Yeah, basically, yeah. AC of Triple XL goes in the backyard, finds a wrestling ring. Decides he's going to sleep in the ring. Crazy Steve jumps in, says they can share it. Next thing you know, Tommy Dreamer pops up, screams, match time! So we go into our second match of the show, which is AC versus Crazy Steve, and Kylie Ray is your referee, who's the number 1 contender to the women's title. Now, here's the thing. They're all in a house together. It's Rona quarantine is what it is.
There's 9.
Thank you. So all of these people are in quarantine living together. They have a ring in the backyard they're recording matches in so they can fill the show. It literally looks like I'm watching an indie show. Like, I mean, at least in the arena, it felt, okay, there's production value. This looks like a half-assed ring set up with a tarp draped over it, like, from 10 feet up.
You know, just in case it rains.
No, it's to shade the ring so it doesn't burn your ass. Have you ever been in a ring in direct sun? That canvas gets hot.
Well, it looks like Bleacher Report liked it. They give it an A. That's
Bleacher Report has lost their mind lately. Okay.
So the match, I'll give you this. The match wasn't bad. Crazy Steve and AC did fairly well. The concept behind this whole thing, I get the idea of like, oh, we need to do something to keep our talent active and on TV, even though they have to be quarantined. Fine, they came up with something they thought would be clever. It's just the execution on this seems really, really stupid.
And from what I've heard, it took up way too much of the show.
Way too much of the show.
Well, Bleacher Report said this was fun and different.
Different again. For sure.
Bleacher Report lost their mind lately.
So your winner was AC. Like, Crazy Steve was going to win. I mean, AC's. I mean, I remember we mentioned Bastion Booger. Imagine someone the size of Bastion Booger.
Yeah, AC. Yeah, he's huge.
So we go to a backstage segment. Falaba and TJP get mad at Rohit Raju being too close with no mask and not practicing social distancing.
What the hell?
He then edges TJP to challenge Chris Bay for the X Division title and then runs away. Next, still backstage, Austin Ace says that the Good Brothers should watch out during the match with Reno Scum tonight. Okay. Still backstage, go to Ethan Page, saying they'll get their rematch with the Motor City Machine Guns. Okay. Still backstage, I go to Katie Forbes telling RVD that the pics she's going to show tonight are going to break the internet. Still backstage, you get an EC3 promo. It's just going. Like, again, still backstage, You get a Moose promo on how he destroyed Falaba and the Panda Boy. Heath comes up, challenges Moose for the TNA title, and he says he has a contract from the TNA title.
He got in this week?
Committee. Yeah, he's in. I don't think he left. I think he just Moose says there is no committee. Heath pushes the fact, and Moose invites him for a match next week. Scott D'Amore comes out and says, Heath, you don't have an Impact contract. However, you convince Moose for a match. If you beat him, you get an Impact contract next week.
Does that sound familiar?
I was just about to say the same exact thing. I was like, is this deja vu?
Yeah. All right, so now we're going into our third match of the night. Yes, our third.
Okay, Dark had 12 matches in an hour-long show.
2 hours. It was 2 hours.
Wait, Dark's 2 hours?
Yeah, this one was they called it a jumbo dark.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Ooh.
I was like, wait a minute, no. Dark's only an hour long.
No, this was 2.
Jumbo packaged.
Yeah, jumbo.
Mm-hmm.
So your match 3 was your Impact Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo versus Kimberly, because Kimberly attacked her last week when she was. And anyhow, it's BS storyline. Anyways, your winner was Deonna Purrazzo. Now, Steve, you can stop biting your tongue because your girl Jordan Grace comes out.
I know, she whooped ass. Pretended
She came out with her arm in a sling. She must have got her move done real quick, and then takes the sling off and attacks Deonna Purrazzo. So I actually enjoyed it. She did it. It was a really good.
And
really
then
good
she sells
runner.
the arm still hurting at the very end.
Yeah,
too.
she's just doing the.
Like,
you know.
Okay, adrenaline's starting to wear off. This still hurts.
Yeah, exactly. So then we go backstage again. Katie Forbes runs into Sami Callihan, says, fans can't be back here. And he's like, I used to be champion. Sure you did, and walks away from him. Then we go back to Wrestle House.
Oh, boy.
Johnny Swinger offers Crazy Steve to bunk with him. And he's pulling this whole thing. He's like lounging across a bed with a stuffed tiger. Like you get this vibe of, Tiger King.
Oh.
It's really creepy. You want to be my boy? Like it was like, what am I watching?
I think that's probably what they're going for, too.
I'm sure it was. And then Crazy
Steve
says, no, it's okay. He's like, it's okay. I was talking to the monkey. Because Crazy Steve wears that Halloween monkey on his chain thing. Yeah. He turns him down. Then there shows the Deaners trying to sleep. You have Cousin Jake in the bed snoring and Cody on the floor trying to sleep. Can't sleep because of snoring. Rolls over, drinks a beer. Cousin Jake wakes himself up with a snore, then yells at Cody, you woke me up with your snoring. They argue. You can obviously see there's someone in the bed with Cousin Jake. It turns out to be Tommy Dreamer saying, match time!
Oh, my goodness. This is like Big Brother with wrestling / cheesy 70s game show.
Pretty much, yeah. And then you go into match 4, which is Cousin Jake versus Cody with Alicia Edwards as referee. Yeah. And then Cousin Jake wins and gets the bedroom. So now Cody has to find somewhere to sleep.
I'm glad
he ends up going out and finds an RV, like a really nice big RV. It's like, I'll sleep there. Go back to backstage again. Ken Shamrock still has no explanation for Sami Callihan and walks away. Katie Forbes comes up with RVD and tells him, this is the guy that was perving on me. And then RVD kind of goes to him and says, stay away from her. And it's like, what? It made no sense, honestly. Because unless they're building a storyline with Sami Callihan versus RVD, I don't know what they're doing.
For those of you that aren't watching on YouTube, you really need to see me and Chris's thoroughly unimpressed faces.
Yeah,
So, Larry, you're making this painful for us. I can only imagine for the viewers.
I told you it was hard to watch.
Let's pick it up.
I'm trying to. Believe me, I'm trying to. So next in ring, you get Katie Forbes and RVD saying Katie Forbes is going to show the pics. They throw them up on the screen, and every one of the every one of the pictures has Sami Callihan's face over her face. She throws a temper tantrum, which is just annoying. Like, worse than the Iconics voice annoying.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah,
It's really not that bad.
You
go watch the segment and tell me different.
Well, I'm just saying it's probably worse, but I'm just saying that the Iconics are just Australians and their voices are normal.
No, they're not.
Anyhow, so next you get a video package of the Rascals in a treehouse getting high with suicide. They're hotboxing a treehouse, and suicide is with them. Then they do a video call with Rich Swann, who complains that Eric Young cost him his opportunity, and he'll be in the Impact Zone next week.
So Eric Young and Rich Swann are going to go at it, not Eddie
Right.
Edwards.
So it's like they're building Eddie Edwards, but Rich Swann's going to. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Why? Because Impact. That's why.
Impact matters.
Kinda.
Match 5 in your main event. This was the only match I was looking forward to of the night because I was hoping to see the Good Brothers perform how they used to in Japan versus Reno Scum. They hit the Magic Killer to win the match, obviously. Your winners are Good Brothers. But they weren't performing on the level they used to back in Japan. And the main reason, I think, was because, like we've talked about, you can't get hyped up without an audience. You can't get anyone behind you. You don't get the adrenaline rush. So it fell flat, honestly. For the Good Brothers' first match,
well, and plus,
as a full team,
they're used to being lazy for like the last 2-3 years. So.
I was to say, plus they're 4 years older than they were the last time they were in Japan.
I think they have a little ring rust for sure, but in the end, they got the victory. It's good to see the Good Brothers back on TV. I wish it was the New Japan Good Brothers, like they started to let them do when they were in the OC with the face paint on Luke Gallows, and I wish I could have seen. I mean, at least Abs Anderson was still there because he was showing off his crazy abs still.
Mm-hmm.
But
was his hot Asian wife there?
No, sadly, no. Not even mentioned this week, actually.
Damn.
Okay, so this takes us into our Wednesday Night War. So let's go ahead and start with the first thing, which is the ratings. AEW Dynamite drew 773,000 viewers. NXT, 707,000 viewers. So AEW is still on top this week. So the first thing we get into, obviously, with Dynamite, your commentary team this week was Taz, JR, and Tony. Now, I need to touch on something. There's been a lot of stuff on social media. Excalibur was not on the show. He was there in Jacksonville, ready to perform. They didn't let him on TV. Unfortunately, some footage of him back in PWG, pre-2007, arised of an incident where he's heard using racial slurs, the N-word, on other wrestler.
And one with an A and one with an R. So one funny and one not so funny.
Yeah. So involved in this whole situation, mind you, I'll just say this. I was at this show. I remember this show. Now, going up to this, you had Super Dragon, Kevin Steen, a.k.a. Kevin Owens, and Excalibur teaming together. You had Super Dragon turn on his team and team with a couple other guys. So, and here's the thing. Excalibur said this, and if you saw the whole situation, so does Kevin Owens. But you don't see Kevin Owens getting in trouble anywhere.
It was on Raw last week.
Again, but you don't see anything coming out where, he's being suspended, he's being this and this and this and this. So I am not condoning what PWG did with this situation. Yes, I was there for the show. Yes, they always push the envelope. They're always trying to get more attention using shock value, kind of like Howard Stern would. Okay? Do I agree with how they did it? No, I don't. Is Excalibur that way? No. Meeting him, knowing him, he is not racist at all. Okay? It was a poor choice of words. It was done for the receipt of shows. It was done to get attention. It was done just to kind of, they were edgy. It's like DX saying some of the stuff DX did back in the day. So I think people are a little oversensitive about words. I understand what the current climate we're in, it's not a good idea to talk that way. But again, this was pre-2007. This is before he retired from in-ring competition. I don't think
because
it's fair.
the entire reason he was saying what he was saying is he was cutting a promo on an opponent.
On two wrestlers, he's literally cutting a heel promo against his opponents. I mean, if you want to go back against any wrestler, I guarantee you every wrestler has done something along that lines, said something they shouldn't have in a promo. The only reason is it's PWG. They've got a lot of heat right now with everyone in the wrestling community. I mean, they love their product, but they're looking through because they were like a launching pad to go to NXT and go to other places. Samoa Joe came through there. Kevin Owens came through there. Sami Zayn came through there. Daniel Bryan's been through there. AJ Styles has been there. Kazarian's been there. There's so many people that go through that area. Everyone looks at their old stuff to see it, and of course they're going to see something like this on one of their DVDs. And yeah, he got a little heat for it. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but I don't think they should continue to let it affect Excalibur's work with AEW. And now I'm going to step off my soapbox on that.
I think it's going to be like a Sammy Guevara situation. He's going to be off TV for a couple of weeks and then wind up
Most
coming
likely.
back.
Yeah, I can see that too. And yeah, I missed Excalibur. I didn't think I didn't realize how much I really enjoyed him until he wasn't on this.
Until he was gone? Yeah.
Yeah.
But see,
That's-
I really like this team, though. I like this 3 commentary team of JR, Tony.
Yeah, Taz is good too. Yeah.
Taz is always good on commentary.
Yeah.
But Excalibur brings something to it. He's entertaining with it.
Yeah.
So now that I'm off my soapbox, we can get into the actual show. Your first match is the 10-man tag team match.
Good
the inner
God.
circle. The inner circle versus best friends and friends. So it's Chuck. God, I forget all the Chuck, Trent, Orange Cassidy, and Jurassic Express.
Minus Marco Stunt.
Oh, no, he was out there.
Well, I mean, yes, but he was.
He was even used as a weapon in the match.
Yes, he was.
Which is awesome to get. He has such a fan favorite pop out of him. It's great. I love. He's amazing. There's just a lot of craziness. I mean, they even talked about how you're going to have one ref in a 10-man match.
Yeah, that was JR's thing, man. He kept talking about one
ref can't control this. One ref
and
can't do this.
Aren't they doing something like a 12-man next week? And he's like, nope, they need 2 refs for that one. They need 2 refs.
He already said that. In the end, you had Matt Hardy attack Sammy Guevara, which I don't know where this is coming from. Matt Hardy came out from under the ring.
It was a rivalry they were starting, and then Sammy got suspended.
I was going to say it traces back to Sammy getting chased in the golf cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
And him riding his little
my memory.
scooter.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he also would creep on him when he was riding his
right.
scooter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
oh no, not again! And Sammy just takes off running.
Your winners are best friends and friends. Wow, that was a lot of people in that match.
Yes.
It's a way to kick off a show.
Yeah, that's a hell of a curtain jerker for sure.
It was fun, but there was a lot going on.
There's a lot
it.
going on, yeah.
Yeah.
A whole lot of stuff going on. Next, you get a video segment. Mox addressing Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. It was whatever. It was the same thing they've been doing. I get it. They're trying to push this whole thing, but
yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Match 2
was.
Yeah. Match 2 of the night was your TNT Championship Open Challenge, Cody versus Warhorse. I love this match.
Yeah, I was gonna say this little dude can go. Like ordinarily, I'm not very well. Lately, I've been a lot higher on the indie darlings since I started following the indies a little more. But I like this kid.
Yeah, he did a lot. Like Cody put him over like crazy. Like he let him get a lot of spots, a lot of offense over Cody. And, I mean, you got a lot of false finishes with Warhorse almost winning, a lot of close finishes. It was a great match. I thought it was really well done.
And then I liked the couple of times you audibly heard Arn Anderson telling Cody, "Don't let your anger get in the way of your talent."
Subtly putting into the heel turn, which is great. But you did, your winner and still the TNT Championship, Cody.
And ever since the starting of this heel turn, he's been using the figure 4 as a finisher.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then the thing I really liked is he still showed Warhorse respect after the match. He still, shook his hand, thanked him for the match. I think that's a classy thing. I love seeing that. Then the Dark Order attacks him out of nowhere. Like creepers everywhere. And then we get a surprise.
Mm-hmm. A Staten Island surprise.
Yeah. We get Matt Cardona, formerly Zack Ryder.
Woo, woo, woo.
I set you up to use your soundbite on that, and you didn't even do it.
Hey, I am my soundbite, okay?
Oh, Jesus. He made his debut and made the save for Cody, which was really cool. It's great to see him get some TV time. It's great to see him come out. I popped for it because I thought it was awesome.
And the dude looks absolutely jacked.
He was jacked, yes.
Oh, my God. He's been doing a lot of work. He hasn't been just been playing with action figures while he's been off. He's been working out.
He's been getting those.
Has he? I thought it was too quick of getting jacked of it. Maybe injections.
Since April 15th.
Hey, you know what? He's got some lower ab cuts. Apparently, him and Chelsea's been, working the hip thrusters. And I got one. I finally got one.
I forgot to mention. Last week I mentioned this guy Myers is showing up. They're doing promos on Impact. That's Kurt Hawkins. He's showing up. At Impact.
Wherever Ryder goes, Hawkins going to follow him.
Ryder's at AEW. Hawkins is going to
they're not following
Impact.
Each other. Yeah.
Hawkins is going to Impact.
Yeah. Back to Impact.
Yeah. Okay, so
FCW. You remember that?
Wow. So we get another backstage segment. Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Jericho talking crap on Orange Cassidy announces in 2 weeks on August 12th they will have the rematch. And thank you, Steve. And next week on the 5th he will have a debate.
The Great Lay Orange debate.
So if you're interested in that shirt, be sure to go to Steve, you want to plug them again?
KK's Creations, Facebook. Go to Facebook, search the little magnifying glass icon, KK's Creations. Let them know you are interested in the Lay Orange debate shirt, and they will get you a quote and get it to you ASAP.
There you go. So, and then we get Sammy Guevara talking about Matt Hardy ruining his Dynamite return. Jericho asks him to say son of a bitch in Spanish. Steve?
Son of El bitch. Son of Le bitch. Son of El
Something
bitch.
along that lines. So watch for a new shirt coming from us on that as well.
with the actual proper translation, because, the Spanish God speaks precisely 0 Spanish.
Not to mention our own Spanish God shirt we're working on too. So we got shirts coming.
We have merch, people. We have merch.
We go to a backstage video package of FTR signing their contract. I really enjoyed this.
This was awesome. Yeah.
This was Arn Anderson comes in as their tag team consultant. I don't know. Maybe they're going to turn Arn heel with the 4 Horsemen thing. I don't know.
I love that they're the only team.
Yes now. Yeah.
They are the only team that uses the tag rope.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So their contract states, like I said, they have to use the rope. They have a strict 10-second count, old school rules. Hangman comes in after they sign the contract, pours the drinks for everyone. Arn pours his into Dax's. And
Hangman pours half the bottle into a glass.
Yeah.
And drank it all.
Yeah, he chugged that. No, I was texting him during this. It's like, they're probably going through a lot of iced tea or a lot of flat soda, because I don't think that was really whiskey.
Yeah, no.
Possibly. Yeah.
But
then Dax says
Hangman takes about half, takes a big long pull and he goes, I think I poured a little too much.
As they're going to commercial, boom, he's taking all the rest of it. I was like, damn, respect.
Dax even says, man, that whiskey is cheap.
Yeah, burns the nostrils.
Match 3 is your AEW tag team title match. I was looking forward to this one, actually.
You guys both predicted that Dark Order was taking it.
You hush.
Yeah. I was hoping they would because I wanted to see the implosion of Omega and Page already. However, so it's Omega and Hangman Page versus Dark Order of Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. You had Brody Lee come out with Colt Cabana on commentary. It was a good match. It felt really old school, lots of false finishes. Like I said, I really wanted to see Page and Omega lose.
Even though they took the L, it really did put Grayson and Evil Uno over.
Yeah, it did.
Well, they had to do that because Grayson and Evil Uno before that were undefeated. So they had to do something not to make them look like they got jobbed.
The thing I like most about this, though, is the fact that after they lost, Brody Lee sends
Colt backstage,
Colt and the girl back to the back. It reminds me of like when you have. I grew up in a split household, right? You have your.
I will apologize for the sound. Apparently, somebody's having a motorcycle race right outside of my house.
So, like you grow up with a father who only has like 30% custody of you, but he has a full-blooded kid of his own, like with a different marriage. You go over to the dad's house and you get to do whatever you want because he wants to be the nice parent. But then when it comes time to discipline your half-sibling, they send you out of the room so you don't see it. That's what it reminded me of.
That really had that vibe for sure. So Brody Lee rushes Colt out of the arena, tells Page and Omega's friends to come to the ring. The Young Bucks were out in the crowd watching it. So you end up with the Elite in the ring, and then the ring is surrounded by more members of the Dark Order. I don't know where they're finding all these people, all these creepers. They're just, out from under the ring, the crowd, everywhere. I was like, holy crap.
And how heavy must that paper have been for, it to knock Evil Uno completely over from his knees? Like, it's 2 sheets of paper, and he takes it like he just got a boulder thrown at him.
Well, he probably had a piece of rebar in it,
Ding.
So a brawl breaks out. FTR comes out to make the save for the Elite, and FTR and Elite come out on top. So this is where I'm getting really confused with what they're doing with the FTR. If FTR is going to be built as a heel team, why are they helping the Elite?
They're helping Page.
Yeah,
I can see that. But
they're helping.
So
what I see it as is they're helping Page to eventually have Page turn on Kenny in the tag team title match, just like kind of like Moxley and Seth Rollins back in the day.
Okay, I can see where you're saying that.
But FTR getting the titles
and another thing I think is they're intentionally making more people tweeners, so you can't predict when the heel turn actually is coming.
And that's true, because like right now we want the heel turn, but we can't predict when they're going to do it. So then
sorry to interrupt. And Arn might get involved too, because after that contract signing, I do feel Arn is going to be part of the Four Horsemen faction.
Yeah, that's got to be. Him being in it, totally being it. It's got to be the two of them teaming and coaching the new Horsemen, as we're calling them. Hopefully Correct. They use that. Don't worry, AEW, you don't have to pay us royalties on that. That's fine. So then we get a promo segment with Britt Baker addressing Big Swole. It was whatever. Again, just have her doing the notes to Tony Schiavone. Move on. Anyway. Match 4, we have Diamante versus Shida. Good match. Looks like they're going to push Diamante a bit. But your winner was Shida, and it was a non-title match.
And I love the fact that they said that you had like that when they were talking about Diamante, they basically said you have to be a badass if you're wearing leather shorts as ring gear.
Yeah, the chafing.
Yeah, it's like you gotta be a bad person if you're wearing leather as ring gear.
But yeah, I actually thought Diamante was going to win this match because it was a non-title match.
I thought she should have, but
number one contender,
Yeah. So backstage, we see Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero getting ready to select their chip for the women's tag team tournament. They pull a purple chip out. She's informed that another person's already pulled that color and introduces her partner as Ariane, formerly Cameron of the Funkadactyls.
Yeah.
Who has precisely zero wrestling talent.
Yes, agreed.
Yes. So it looks like they're good. This tournament is not going to be predetermined teams. It's going to be random drawn. They call it the deadly draw.
I like this though.
I like
But
it. I just don't like the fact that it's camera.
Isn't it the same as a Dusty Cup? Like random teamings?
That's a good point. My wife actually brought that up. She's like, "Are we watching the Dusty Cup again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but this is women." Blah 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 blah. But
No,
she
this is
she makes sense.
completely different.
Yeah. All right. So then we get an in-ring segment that took so long to set up because it's the whole MJF State of the Industry address, which I enjoyed the whole segment. I really enjoyed it, but the whole thing of him doing it as a political segment kind of was like,
It was awesome.
Part of me
I thought
liked
it was great.
but part of me is like, with the way the political climate is right now, with it being so pulverizing, don't pull that into my wrestling.
right.
Eh.
But isn't this just pulling from what Impact did with EC3 a few years ago? They did the same thing.
Every time it's around election year,
They
wrestling
do
always
this.
gets some sort of politics stuff involved. So
Well, hell,
I was
DX did
fine.
the
I'm
State of the
expecting it.
Address.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
they've done
expecting something like this, So
Well, and that's why we got the debate coming next week.
yes. Well, they even
You know.
they're calling it Super Wednesday next week because they're doing the debate, and then MJF's doing another political segment.
Right. So it looks like they're definitely setting up MJF versus Mox for the title, which, I could see MJF carrying this.
Me too.
I really could. I think he'll be a good champion.
Yep.
He's a great heel. I think he deserves an opportunity with a good title run.
I also enjoyed your thing that you shared with MJF about Zack Ryder. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is historically, promotions they do better business with a heel champion and the faces chasing the heels.
Exactly.
Of course, yep.
Chasing the heel to give you that end-all, be-all, good guy on top, Hogan must pose moment at the end of the big match, So that takes us into match 5, our main event, the Tornado Tag Match, or the Texas Tornado Tag Match, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's basically ECW rules. Because they weren't doing countouts, they weren't doing DQ stuff. There was just chaos. So it was Mox and Darby Allin versus Team Taz of Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. You hear Darby's music, but he doesn't come out. You hear Mox comes in, and it really seemed like the whole gimmick with Mox is you're not going to know where he's coming out from the arena, but the camera was right there waiting for him. It's like, no, you're supposed to have cameras everywhere and get random, like, where is he, where is he, where is he, where is he? And then you finally go to the camera where he's going to be, and they catch him coming in.
Yeah,
They were standing there waiting for
They
him.
used to do that.
kind of like the old
Attitude.
Edge, the old Edge and Christian entrances.
Yeah.
Exactly. So backstage, you see Taz, Cage, and Starks cutting a promo right behind the entrance ramp because you can see the ring in the audience through it, which kind of, I was like, really? You couldn't have turned the camera a little this way and not let me see that? So, it was a good promo. They're trying to show what Ricky Starks can do on the mic, which he's not bad. I've heard worse on the mic, believe me. I won't mention names.
This match I thought was just okay.
It started off awesome. The coffin drop off the entrance.
Exactly. Darby hits the coffin drop off the entrance. It was a crazy match, and the finish was
Yeah, the
painful
finish
to
was
watch.
cool. The finish was cool. It was the skateboard with the thumbtacks on it, no wheels. That was cool. But
I'm sorry. I don't know how Starks took that. That shit looked painful.
yeah,
And
That was a lot of blood for thumbtacks.
And that sets up Darby versus Mox next week for the belt.
Right.
Mhm.
So that looks, Mox and Darby win. You get next week's setup. So it looks really good. They have a lot of future going. They're setting up a lot of stuff. I enjoyed AEW, but we always enjoy AEW.
I thought AEW was better this week than it was last week.
I agree.
Yeah,
I got excited. I thought you were going to say something you hardly ever say, but I'll wait.
He wasn't going to
better-
say it.
What, better
wasn't
than
gonna say it. He
NXT?
never
Yeah,
does.
it was better than NXT this week.
Holy shit.
I always say AEW is better except for last week. I said they dropped the ball last week.
So a little bit of AEW news. AEW signed Eddie Kingston to a deal, so he will be a regular. So be prepared to see him on Dark.
Yep.
I was saying
Exactly.
hopefully this is the beginning of building a mid card.
Yeah. You got Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder. He did sign a deal with them, but it's short term. It's a 5-appearance deal. It's something similar to like what Brock Lesnar gets. So they're going to do short term deals. I don't know if it's because he's hoping WWE will take him back, but you just showed up on their you just showed up on their direct competition. They ain't taking you back now, dude. Just sign a long term with them.
Yeah. Well, I did hear a rumor about his woman. I heard she's coming up to the main roster.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green.
She was not good in NXT either.
No.
So next week during the debate with Jericho, it's rumored that our moderator will be none other than Eric Bischoff.
Wow, that would be awesome.
That would be real awesome to see WWE's direct competitor for so long help their new competition. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was to say, but now, I mean, I'm excited to see it, but now we're really starting to question, okay, is AEW starting to be too much of a blatant ripoff of WCW?
I don't care though.
Yeah,
because I was a bigger WCW fan than WWF.
Oh, I'm not saying I
time.
care, but there are just too many direct connections right now between.
Well, okay, look. First off, Cody's dad was one of the main bookers for WCW for how long?
Yeah.
Cody's brother was there for how long? Cody grew up around all those people that were involved in WCW. He knows all those connections. TNT was the channel it was on, and TNT obviously wanted wrestling again because it was such a good hit for them. So, yeah, there's a lot of automatic connections to WCW. And, yes, Cody's going to try and buy up anything he can that's WCW related from when WWE drops the ball with it. Why? Because it's a coup. You can do it. I mean, look what – they dropped the Rhodes the copyright on Cody Rhodes' name. He tried to get it, and they got it back out from under him. It's going to be a constant fight, so get used to it. It's going to be around for a while.
Oh, now, like I said, I'm not complaining because I was a WCW guy too. But it's just like it's a direct parallel. Like we were talking, what was it, a couple days ago? Even the names of the show. Dynamite, which is Nitroglycerin, Monday Night Nitro.
Yeah,
exactly.
And,
if they bring another show, they can't say Thunder, so it'll be like Lightning or Rumble.
Or Rumble, exactly, yeah.
So, I don't know if they'll do Rumble, though. Just
Thursday Night Lightning. That, which they actually are talking more on that. Cody's even said we're going to have a third hour of TV every week, which they're talking about a secondary show, not adding a third hour to Dynamite, but a secondary show, and it's going to be 1 hour. They haven't decided the format yet, but TNT is really high on them having a second weekly show.
Is it going to be on TNT, or are they going to do TV?
Yeah, it's on TNT. They want it on TNT.
So like I said, it'll be like Thursday Night Rumble.
Right.
Yeah, but if they put on TBS, then yes, that was definitely WCW.
So AEW Cody's actually said in a tweet that the TNT title, he's hoping to have the finish one for the August 12th episode.
Does he? I'm gonna ask you guys a direct question, yes or no. He said it's gonna debut on the 12th. Does he drop it on the 12th?
No.
I knew that's what you were going to ask, but I don't know who he's going to face, so I can't predict that.
I don't see him dropping it till he hits a pay-per-view, honestly.
And they've got one in
September. That was a very weird segment of how.
Oh yeah,
Jericho interrupted. Yeah, Jericho interrupted him, and they were kind of like trying to talk about All Out, and he just got straight up interrupted. It was very weird how they did that.
So now they've finally stated out the rules of the Tag Team Cup and when it's going to air. It's going to be on Monday nights on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it's going up against Raw time slots. Even though Raw starts at 8 o'clock, it's still going to be on. This feels almost like they're trying to do how WWE did the Mixed Match Challenge.
I was just going to say that. I was like, I'm going to watch a Mixed Match Challenge now.
So the tournament is random draw. All competitors must draw a color like we saw with Nyla Rose and Cameron. Matching colors become a team. Selections are final and cannot be appealed. So
when does it start? Next Monday?
This Monday, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll have another show to talk about.
14 hours a week.
Maybe we could just cut Impact out.
This week was 14 hours because Dark was 2 hours this week.
Yeah, like Chris said, we might have to sacrifice Impact.
Impact matters, goddammit.
Kinda.
We only need to talk about the good stuff with Impact, like Heath and EC3. That's it.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to ever talk about Wrestle House again, Larry.
Oh, you're gonna, because they're gonna keep doing it.
Oh,
I don't. That was too painful.
Rona House. Call it what it is.
11,
10.
10,
10, Billy Bob. 10.
We're gonna have to actually get a counter on screen somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, so WWE NXT. I enjoyed this, except for the final match. I enjoyed the rest of it.
I did like one minor change that NXT made. Instead of having their extras just sitting there in the crowd, they actually made noise. Like there was an
like
audible,
they do on SmackDown.
Yeah, there was an audible like excitement from the quote unquote audience.
Well, I mean, NXT shows are pretty exciting anyways, so it should be good.
Yeah, but it doesn't translate into their extra crew, their audience, because they're just like, yeah, we're getting paid to be here. Yay. This week they were actually like active. They were banging, they were loud, they were cheering. It actually felt like there was a small crowd there.
Right. It felt better. It really had a better feel. Your first match was Io Shirai and Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae.
Chris gets his happy spot right at the beginning.
Good match.
It was a good match. Your winners were Io Shirai and Tegan Nox. A lot of focus on Dakota Kai. It's going to be entertaining. Then they play a video package about Adam Cole and the Pat McAfee show. So that obviously looks
That's
like
a shoot.
Work.
It looks like it's a work, dude.
I was saying, dude, Rihanna's in the background going work.
Yep.
Hunter ain't going to get involved in a shoot like that. He's not going to try to pull it in. It's a work. It really is. Match 2, you have Johnny Gargano versus Roderick Strong. This was a great match.
Good match.
Oh my God, good match. Your winner, Johnny Gargano. I could have called it out the gate. They're not pushing the Undisputed Era very high right now.
Oh, until the next segment.
Things will change.
So backstage, you get Mackenzie Mitchell interviewing Dakota Kai. She wants the title, doesn't need any help. Then you get the return of Rhea Ripley as a blonde.
Oh, yes! It's awful. No.
No, it's great.
Some people
I was
can't
just
pull off
excited
blonde.
to see Rhea, okay?
Yeah.
She can pull off blonde.
Okay. So Larry says yes. I say
Yes.
no. What do you say? Steve, come on. Get out of here. Get out of here.
2-1, Chris, you're done.
Whatever.
Rhea Ripley. She could dye her hair pink, and I would say yes.
I think her hair looked fine before. Now
I
she looks too flourish.
I think she'd look good with pink hair.
Oh, and by the way, she finally got back to NXT because she was cleared for travel from Australia because of the Rona. 11.
You know what's funny? She sounds just like the Iconics, too.
No, she doesn't.
No, she does not.
No, she does not.
You
no
hush
way,
that
no
blasphemous
how.
mouth.
She sounds nothing like the Iconics. Sorry, my cat tried to get involved.
See, even the cat agrees that you're completely asinine.
That was
So-
before I said that.
So backstage, we get more with Mackenzie, talking with Timothy Thatcher. I had it muted at this point because I was taking care of something else, so I didn't even hear what he said. If you guys want to fill in.
I fast forward that guy because I can't stand him.
I got nothing.
Fair enough. Then you see the UE backstage, and O'Reilly's fired up and tired of the nonsense. We're the Undisputed Era and blah, blah, blah. We are the freaking Undisputed Era because, Mom's going to get mad if I say fuck. There's the Undisputed Era. They're supposed to be like the bad boys, and we don't give a shit.
$5 in the swear jar, sure. That's 10. You owe me 10.
It seemed really weird to have him. We're the freaking. It's like you're bleeping other stuff on the show. You can't bleep that.
But I did enjoy that O'Reilly was the hype man. It's better to have someone different because it's always Cole, but now he's down and out right now, so it was good to have someone else hyping them up. I enjoyed that.
O'Reilly with facial hair.
Yeah, that's got to go.
Yeah, it's weird, but it was good nonetheless. I enjoyed it.
He looks like he should be in the movie For Richer or Poorer. If you guys know what movie that is. It's an Amish movie.
So match 3, you had Shotzi Blackheart versus Mercedes Martinez. I was on this.
Yep,
I like
me
Shotzi. I like Shotzi. I think
And
Mercedes is
I
a bit
like
overhyped.
Mercedes. I like Mercedes, but I don't like her with Rob Stone.
No,
Yeah, I think
don't
she's overhyped right now completely. Like, she's good, but I think I enjoy Shotzi Blackheart a bit more. Especially when I can spot her on Raw and SmackDown in the crowds because you can't miss
green
that
hair.
bright green hair.
Of course, yeah. I personally don't like either one of these women wrestlers, so I moved on from this match.
So you get an in-ring segment, and I really like this. I really enjoyed this whole thing. Keith Lee comes out, cuts a promo to address Karrion Kross. He's interrupted by Cameron Grimes, and Cameron Grimes gets decimated.
You are destroyed, good sir.
Why are you trying? You may as well just not come out because lights go down.
He may as well have just like walked to the ring with his head down in shame because he knew he was getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, he just got destroyed. It was great to see him get destroyed because I never really cared for him, even back in Impact when he was their X Division champion.
Trevor Lee.
It was just bad.
Yeah.
Scarlett comes out, and on screen you get Karrion Kross saying he wants a match. Keith Lee agrees to a match, says, you're anywhere, anytime type thing. And that's it for that.
William Regal.
Well, that happens later, so don't jump too far ahead. So video package for tonight's triple threat match Finn addresses the other members of the match. Okay. You go into match 4. You have Imperium versus Everrise.
Who is Everrise again? Like, what is this go?
So, okay, after seeing who Everrise was this time, is it me or does it feel like they're taking a jab at the Young Bucks with this team?
Possibly. I can see what you're saying on that.
They have a similar look to the Young Bucks, but then again, you could also say they're just referencing the Rockers, too.
Yeah.
So I see it both ways, but your winners were Imperium. Everrise just got destroyed. It wasn't anything special. And then the UE attacks Imperium.
This Everrise thing is so weird, though. But I did enjoy the UE attacking Imperium, which sets up for next week.
Correct. So then you get a video.
And that's the thing is it's been so long since the tag belts were relevant. I forgot Imperium was the tag champs.
Right, because I've completely forgot who all the champs are. I mean, obviously we know Keith Lee. NXT's vacant at the moment, or the North American's vacant. So in the tag,
that guy holds a lot of belts.
Every company, bro. Every company. That man, he is the superstar of wrestling.
That guy vacant wins a lot of championships.
Yeah, best wrestler in history.
You think Vince McMahon's running the tag team division right now?
But yeah, I was just like, they came out with the belts. I'm like, oh yeah, they're the champs.
I did the same thing. Yeah, which is weird because NXT loves to focus on their tag team division. Not lately though.
Well, again, they probably had some travel restrictions because why, Steve?
The Rona.
And that's why Everrise is on TV because the Rona.
Baker's dozen.
Okay, so then you get a video package about Bronson Reed and how he deserves a shot at the NXT North American title and how they're going to have to go through his 300-plus pounds of monster and, yeah.
That boy thick!
And he like, at the beginning of his wrestling career, he was not that big.
No, he got thick, though.
That boy got big!
Well, that's what happens. Okay,
so he sounds just like the Iconics as well.
No, he doesn't.
He's
not a real high pitched.
Would you stop with comparing all Aussies to the Iconics? The Iconics are Aussie, and they have this annoying high pitched voice.
They have a high pitched shrill of a voice that needs to be muted. Put a muzzle on them. They're talented in the ring, but I don't need them on TV anymore.
Back to NXT.
And how? Our luck, they're going to put Iconics back on NXT to make us watch them again.
I thought they were teasing they were going to do it a couple months ago. They were teasing they were going to do it a couple months ago, but they never did.
Oh, my God.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Oh, good Lord. So then we get a video package from Twitter of all places, of William Regal saying that he will not be bullied into a title match. Title matches in NXT are earned and deserved. I think it works because, like you were saying, you think they're just going to put the title on Karrion Kross.
Yes, they will.
I think this sets up for a slow burn for it to give Keith Lee a decent run with it.
Yeah,
he's going to get match after match and no title shot until Regal feels he's earned a title shot.
But with the way he's dominated so far, you could justify he's earned one already.
Mm-hmm. He should be the legitimate number one contender. It's weird.
Bye, kitty.
I'm sorry. He screams in my ear and he tries to crawl all over me, and usually he leaves me alone. Sorry. Okay, so then we go to match 5. You have Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jake Atlas.
This was a fast forward match for me.
Yeah, it was Isaiah Swerve Scott win. It wasn't anything that amazing. Then you go to match 6, your main event, the triple threat qualifier for the NXT ladder match. You had Finn Balor versus Dexter Lumis versus Timothy Thatcher. Now, before we get into this match, who was your hopeful on this?
Balor.
Yeah.
Balor. Okay. We're all on the same page, so I'm glad for that. Balor didn't have a lot of action in this.
Nope. And here's my question for you guys. Does Dexter Lumis just really remind you? Is he just like a Heidenreich 2.0?
I would disagree with that.
I know. I see it. It's just he almost looks like he's a beefed up Simon Gotch.
Just the stat and the hair, and I'm like, it's Heidenreich.
To me, it's Sam Shaw. To me, it's Sam Shaw that was in TNA. That's just more developed. That's what I see.
I wasn't really entertained by this. Honestly, I was
and
frustrated.
His mannerisms are similar to Heidenreich's too.
See, I'm not a fan of Timothy Thatcher. I haven't seen enough of Lumis to really enjoy him, and I was really looking forward to Finn Balor working, and then it didn't happen.
I like Lumis. I don't think he should be over Finn Balor, though.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
Yeah. But I don't mind his character. I like the whole serial killer thing. If you're going to look at the whole serial killer thing,
yeah,
I feel it's more not of a Heidenreich. I feel it's more of the Lars Sullivan that they wanted to make Lars Sullivan. No,
I'm going to leave that alone.
You don't think so? Okay. I feel like this is what they wanted Lars Sullivan to be, and he's not, and he never became that. And they've evolved this guy.
And plus,
to be him.
Loomis kind of has the body type of like a couple inches shorter Heidenreich. Yeah. Like that's why I see Heidenreich when I see Dexter Lumis.
The reason I'm just pushing against Heidenreich is because the only real memory I have of Heidenreich is when he was LOD 2000.
Oh no, I remember him getting his ass whooped by the Undertaker.
Not necessarily a good reason if you're trying to put someone over.
No, but I mean, like, because they were trying to pull that, German, almost kind of neo-Nazi kind of thing with Heidenreich.
Yeah, I do remember the hype of him. Yeah.
And that's it. Lumis reminds me a lot of that.
I see what you're saying. I'm not a fan of him. I was not a fan of this match just because I didn't get as much work out of Balor. I don't care for Timothy Thatcher. I don't know enough about him. So, but your winner and second entrant into the ladder match is Dexter Lumis. This ladder match doesn't look like it's going to be all they're hoping it's going to. Bronson Reed and Dexter Lumis already. Man, I hope you're right, Steve. I hope they do a last chance.
Don't give me credit. That was that dude.
Oh, was it you? Okay.
Yeah.
They
will. They'll definitely do that.
They'll probably have to do like a Rumble match or something with as many entrants are going to have to try,
Like a Battle Royal thing. Yeah, I can see that.
Or a gauntlet match, maybe.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So that was your NXT. It wasn't horrible, but I can see why AEW went over, and AEW was definitely better for the Wednesday Night War this week. A little bit of NXT news. WWE has hired 2 to 3 more writers for NXT specifically, so they're hoping to beef up the writing staff.
Put them on the main roster.
So the problem is, I've gone to the WWE corporate website. They're hiring writers like a mother right now.
Well, they need to hire a couple that can actually have the balls to stand up to Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
And so here's the thing that what's funny is the requirements for the right to get a job as a writer. You have to have 2 to 5 years experience in working in television. You have to have a master's in journalism, and you have to be an avid fan of the product.
I got 2 out of 3 almost. I mean, I'm almost done with my MBA, and I'm an avid fan.
I'm an avid fan. I have experience in television, not writing, but in television. I just don't have a journalism degree, you know.
But here's the thing: back in the day, in the Attitude Era, when the writers were good, the writers had the balls to go up to McMahon, and when McMahon told them no, they reworked it and repitched it.
Yeah, they didn't just say, okay, whatever you want then. And
right, the writers they have now are just yes men. Exactly. Oh, no, that's no good. Okay, boss, bye.
Right, instead of saying, well, what if we tweak this? Or what if we tweak that? And what if we tweak this? No, it's like, here's my idea. Nope, I hate it. You're doing this. Okay, sir.
And from everything I've read back in those days, you would have to pitch Vince an idea 3 or 4 times before he bought into it.
In some cases, unless he absolutely loved it right out of the gate.
Right, but most of the time, it would take at least 3 or 4 pitches for Vince to finally see the idea.
Right.
And these writers are taking a single idea to him once, getting shot down, and then just going away. And that's why the product freaking sucks.
Yeah, and it is rough, but, you know, I did at least look to, I could inform you they are hiring. It's just, you know, you know, and they probably also require you to live in Stamford, which I think is just as expensive. I think it's just as expensive as living in California.
I would say, ask Bruce Pritchard how much a house. For
why do you think he moved back to Texas?
Do.
Well, Texas got good real estate, but
yeah, and it's cheap to live,
and no state income tax.
Don't even get me started, man. It's
SmackDown time.
Texas has no state income tax, no regulation on business. You have the highest state taxes in the country, and you have like
highest regulation on business.
I was saying you have like a 104-page business manual. Yeah, business regulation manual that's like that freaking thick.
And then each city can add to the regulation themselves. So your manual goes from this to this. And then you get county regulations. It's horrible. But anyways, back into wrestling. So SmackDown. I don't have my notes on this, unfortunately, but I did watch it.
Chris, take the lead, bud.
Yeah. But
I didn't watch SmackDown.
Well, shit!
At least I watched it, but
I'm looking at the recap. No, I actually did not watch SmackDown this week.
So we opened with a Firefly Funhouse after a bunch of segments.
Do we just want to go straight to the final segment? Because that's
what
anyway.
That is what everyone's talking about, but I mean, it can touch on it. We got a few things. There wasn't a lot that happened this week on SmackDown.
It was kind of short and sweet. For it being a 2-hour show, it was a short and sweet show. Get to the point.
Yeah. We opened with the AJ Grand Metalik match, which wasn't a bad match.
Poor Metalik, though. You knew he was a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, you knew he wasn't winning that thing. But before that, you did open with a Firefly Funhouse. You know, and I loved it because Bray's sitting there. He's got his snorkeling gear on. He's covered in seaweed stuff. He's like, I was looking for Braun.
Apparently, he's still stuck in the swamp in the seaweed.
You know, so which will lead into what happens towards the end of the show, anyway. So then, like I said, you get that match. You get segments. You see a backstage segment with Sheamus. I didn't really understand what he was saying because I was paying attention to some other stuff while it was on. So
he was basically saying that even though Jeff Hardy won, the alcohol still controls him. Blah 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 blah.
So they're continuing it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Like, is all you can do. I mean, what the. You did get an in-ring segment from Jeff Hardy.
It I did see that on Facebook, and it was boring. It was a boring promo. It was just like, I've overcame all my odds. But that's what alcoholism makes you do. It gets you in these dark places. That was it.
Yeah, and anybody that's battled that already knows that there, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah,
exactly.
He was speaking the obvious.
You get a backstage segment with Shinsuke Nakamura and
Cesaro?
Now I remember what it was. Now I remember Baron Corbin came out. That's why I forgot it, because it was Baron Corbin. Why are they giving him so much airtime?
Well, and the other part is this is the return of Shorty G, which Corbin's calling him Chad and trying to make friends with him when Corbin was like public enemy number one, the guy that was giving Gable the hardest time through the entire time he was going through his transition from Chad Gable to Shorty G. Makes no sense. The only thing that makes it even remotely sense is if you make Chad Gable, in essence, a money-hungry whore who just wants the bounty.
That's what it seems like they're doing.
Because he put like a $10,000 bounty on.
He called it a king's ransom. I don't remember him ever giving a number on it.
On Matt Riddle.
Yeah. So, it's just. I was not entertained by this at all. I've never been a fan of Baron Corbin. I can't say that enough. But moving on to one of the other segments, you had a decent match, not a great match, but a decent match between Big E and The Miz.
I want Big E to evolve out of this New Day thing because
he definitely needs to evolve. I agree with you on that.
Because he can do what he's doing as the third person in the New Day, being the entertainment. But when you take Kofi and Xavier away, it's just dumb.
You need to have him go back to being either how he was when he was helping Dolph or how he was in NXT. He needs to be more of a powerhouse, more serious, less playful.
And I don't mind still incorporating some of the New Day Big E, but you need to.
I don't need to see you rolling down the ramp, down to the ring.
No.
I don't need to hear the people at home. I don't need to hear that anymore.
What you need is kind of like a molding hybrid between the 5-count Big E in NXT and the New Day Big E.
Yeah, you need to kind of how Undertaker merged all his characters for his last match. It's you need something bringing them all together, bringing aspects of it so we can see. I'd love to see Big E with a good U.S. title run, an Intercontinental title run, something. Get him some more singles time. He's already had the Intercontinental title before, so it wouldn't hurt him to have it again.
And he brought back the old school submission, the stretch muffler.
The stretch muffler.
Yes, we talked about this earlier. It was
what it is called.
You called it the stump puller earlier.
Well, I got the name wrong, so frickin' sue me. I watched it on SmackDown, and they called it the stretch muffler.
I'm looking at CBS's highlights, and it says stretch muffler as well. So
okay,
that's right.
Fair enough. I just, like I said, my volume was down. I was taking care of other things while I was watching it.
I could have swore they called it the stump puller in the video game, but it's the stretch muffler.
So, and like I said, it wasn't a bad match. You had a couple little interferences by Morrison. I really feel bad for Morrison, though. He's getting used in comedy spots. He's not getting to perform. Oh, sorry, Vince. I know Vince doesn't like the word comedy in wrestling. It's humor.
Or Pat Patterson. It's ha-ha.
Yeah, exactly. So they send Morrison backstage because he's interfering. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best thing in the world either. The next thing, like I said, you have a Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura segment where they're talking to Shorty G. Okay,
they're in the victory room or whatever the frick they called it. The Victor's Lounge or whatever the hell it was.
Again, it like I said, it wasn't a super memorable SmackDown. The main event to the night was Bayley versus Nikki Cross, which was actually a pretty damn good match.
But nobody's going to talk about the match itself. Everybody's going to talk about what happened afterwards.
Right, but in all, the match was great, and you had some good things coming out of it because we're getting, even though Nikki lost, and Alexa Bliss is trying to console her, you have her. Yeah, you have she's gonna snap. She's gonna go back.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait.
I see it too. Yep.
I cannot wait for her to go back to Sanity and the Sanity style Nikki Cross, because back in those days, my favorite thing to say was about Nikki Cross was the crazier she was, the hotter she got.
Or just more entertaining to watch.
Because but there's something hot about a batshit crazy woman.
Okay.
Just saying.
So after the match, we have.
Why do you think guys fall for all these chicks that are just absolutely just woo cuckoo?
I don't think your wife's that cuckoo. That's what I was thinking.
I'm going to leave the comment alone on it. Honestly,
he muted himself real quick.
Just saying.
Let's not get into that. So.
All right.
We have Alexa Bliss sitting there, not knowing, because after she's trying to console Nikki Cross throws her to the ground. She kind of sits there, sitting there blank, like, what the hell,
Mm-hmm.
And then we get some lights going out, some power outages.
Let me in.
Some blackness of the screen, and then red lights, and the Fiend shows up.
That's awesome.
Now, at first, when I saw this happen, I was mixed on, like, is he going to attack her? Is he going to have her come? You're Abigail, You're coming with me,
The way they did it was perfect.
Yeah, the way they did it was perfect. It's like, thankfully, he didn't just come in, hit her with his sister Abigail, hit her with the mandible claw, and, just hurt her. He came in and kind of just, toyed with her a bit, and eventually does put the mandible claw on her.
And this dates back to the older theories when the Fiend first got here. He always applies the mandible claw with the hurt glove. And they always say the Fiend changes people. The hurt glove is involved with that change. Like when he puts the mandible claw in with the hurt glove, it transfers a piece of the Fiend into that victim.
Which is good to hear because we all love a heel Alexa Bliss.
Number one, we love a heel Alexa Bliss. The other theory is this could be like the beginning steps of a Sister Abigail possession of Alexa Bliss.
This could also be the beginning steps of him drawing Braun out. You attacked Alexa. What the hell is wrong with you?
That's what I see it as. It's going to put another fire in Braun.
But there's a lot of different ways it could go. There's a lot of different ways it could turn out, and they all work. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, every bit of that worked. It was great. Again, I had mixed feelings right away. Like, I was like, oh, crap. Could he be jumping the shark in this situation? But I was really happy with it in the end. I enjoyed it. I wasn't angry with it at all. And then you go to black and they're off air. So 14 hours of wrestling and probably maybe 3.5, 4 good ones.
And you know what? Sadly, my first thought was this was actually a pretty good week in wrestling, albeit the Impact crap and the first hour and a half of SmackDown.
You didn't enjoy Wrestle House?
No, I did not enjoy the Rona House. Damn it.
Overall, I thought this was a good week of wrestling.
14. Chris dropped one for 13.
Overall, I did think this was a good week for wrestling. Raw was probably the worst out of all of them.
Again, I'm going to need to make my shirt that says the show wasn't that bad because I agree with Chris. Raw wasn't that bad.
Raw wasn't that bad, but I think the worst out of them was Impact, honestly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But what I was going to say is that...
shit, Sherlock!
Raw was probably the worst out of all of them, but it gave us a lot of things that we wanted. So, all in all, I feel
out of it.
This week was solid.
It was a building week. It really was, because they're building to another pay-per-view, obviously, as they do every week.
Mm-hmm.
They're building to another pay-per-view,
Well, and that's the sad thing is we only get these really good weeks when we're leading up to the big four.
Yeah, because they have too much writing.
With WWE, yes.
Yeah, with WWE, you're only getting good stuff on the lead up to the big four: Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series.
Survivor Series, yeah.
Yeah. But I would say the Wednesday nights still keep us afloat because they'll NXT and AEW consistently give us pretty good products.
Yeah, but and that's what makes the entire week bearable because you're like, okay,
Yes.
I got to get through Raw. Larry, unfortunately, you got to get through Impact. And
it's not always as bad as this week was. Honestly,
and then you
if they
get
would've
rewarded
with
with
AEW.
Wednesday.
So here's the thing, my whole thing about Impact. Take Katie Forbes the hell off of it. That was not needed. Yes, she's RVD's wife. I get it. She does twerk videos. I get it. But don't give her a mic and don't put her on TV. She's not needed. She really isn't needed. The other thing is, kill this whole thing of the Rascals being in a treehouse. Like, why are they getting Suicide High? It just doesn't make any sense. It leads up to nothing. And then Wrestle House. Like, why I get why they're doing it. Obviously, it's the Rona house. Like
15.
Like Steve said. Because that's got to be what it is. I haven't heard any actual confirmation of that. But that's the only thing that makes sense. Why would they have them isolated? These select guys isolated in a house together. And why would they have their own wrestling ring? If they were doing it like it was a TV show and the way they got everyone there was Rosemary made them all appear with magic.
That'd be one thing.
Can't she make them all appear in the Impact Zone for a match? And then back to the house afterwards? Why do they have to do their match out in the backyard?
Because of the Rona. 16. Got to end it on an even number.
Oh, I see. So yeah, it was a long week of wrestling, but overall entertaining. Because we got some good stuff, we got plenty of bad stuff, and stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, overall, I think this week was one of the better weeks we've had in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
From start to finish, anyway.
Definitely could have been a lot worse, that's for sure.
There ain't no joke there.
We could have had another Katie Vick segment. I mean, yes, I mentioned it.
Okay, I'm pulling a U.
Yes.
All right, well, that's going to go ahead and round up the wrestling review. I don't think we have any other great contributions for this week.
Do we want to tease the retrospective we're going to work on?
There's your tease. Right there. We're talking titles, baby.
Yes. Best and worst.
Best, worst. What the hell were you thinking? Why the hell did you do this? It's just going to be a big, long conversation all about the thing we love most about wrestling, titles.
And not only the best and worst, but what they mean to us, how important this one is versus that one.
Because we were talking about this earlier, I have one special connection with this belt in particular.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people hate it. It's not my favorite, but I do have a connection to it.
And a lot of people extremely love this title, but like you mentioned, there's a lot of people that think it's too reminiscent of other stuff. So again, that's our next retrospective. Be sure to tune in. There should be some entertainment on that. I'm sure we'll argue back and forth quite a bit, as per the usual.
All right, and for the new viewers on YouTube, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. With it being a video cast now, it does bring a different element to it. I really enjoyed this. This was fun,
definitely.
And I'm looking forward to expanding that platform.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, until next week.
Hey.
We're out of here. Thank you very much for listening to the Honest Wrestling Review Network, Hopefully you enjoyed the show. And as always, you can find us on our various social media outlets. Search us on Facebook at Honest Wrestling Review. You can also find us on Twitter at HW Review Pod. And you can find us on Instagram at _HWR_network. If you have any ideas for a show or recommendations for a topic, please feel free to send us to us on those various social media outlets. Thank you very much for listening.